0.5 का 40% आप देखो, 0.5 का 40% आप देखो,
Hello.
तो you will get
Yes.
क्या है कि इस
Am I audible or not?
डिफरेंशियल रिले ऑपरेट नहीं होगा।
So where we have left in the last session? Can you tell me?
Sir, SIG method.
Yes.
0.05 एम्पियर है। देखो यहाँ
हाँ,
पे
डेलिक्विड ने બધું કરેલું sir.
One second. Okay, I think CSV file, CSV handling we have completed, right?
नॉर्मल कंडीशन है, ऑपरेट नहीं होना चाहिए। ओके, आप समझ में आया कि नहीं? परसेंटेज डिफरेंशियल रिले में क्या होता है कि ये बायस कैसे काम
Just a
करता है?
second.
तो अभी ये तो समझ में आ गया है कि इस कंडीशन
Yes,
में तो कोई
CSV Python CSV handling we have completed in the last session. Okay, so I think that we have completed. Dictionary writer, I think we have completed everything we have completed in this CSV file. Okay, so today we are going to see the next. Just a second, so I will just check that where we have completed, then I will start. Python CSV.
Now let us consider the external code condition.
Okay.
So I am rewriting all the values.
Okay, CSV we have completed. Binary files we have seen in between how to deal with binary files. We have read the binary files in the last session. So that we have completed. So now we need to start that's called exceptions or single exception and multiple exceptions that we are going to see in today's session. Okay. So what is that exception is and how that exceptions are going to be used in our called Python. So what do you understand by exception? First thing that I will clear, then we'll move towards the exceptions. Okay, so basically the name says it is called exceptions. Okay, so name suggests that while we are handling the any program of Python, suppose suppose we are right we are wrote some program and if we are going to run that program and if we found some error in that program and that program shows some error, okay, and the error may be of called two types of error. One is called syntax error, that we know that syntax we are it is called wrong, and another is called logical error, right? Two types of errors will be there. Okay, so we'll see how that syntax error means it will show the error, which types of error comes when syntax error is there, and which types of error comes when logical error is there. So this logical error is called exceptions. Okay, why it is called exceptions? Because that exceptions means that so the logical test what you are going to perform on that particular operation, it is not possible on that particular operation, or if you are dividing something with divided by 0. Okay, if suppose you are importing something, it is not present at all. Okay, so if you are accessing the file that which are not present, so all these are logical operations, and with this logical operation, if it is not means it shows error in that particular logical errors of that particular syntax, or means that particular operations, then it is called exceptions. Okay, so we'll see exceptions, which exceptions are there, and how to read every one by one exceptions that we are going to see. Okay, so how to print accept all exceptions from the Python, just I will share the screen of Thony.
So point is what our relay should not operate. Make sure that
just I will share the screen.
अगर आप देखो previous condition में आप देखो तो हमारा जो bias कितने
Okay,
पर set
so
था?
the screen is shared with you, right?
2 पर set था, ठीक है? तो वो
So suppose over here if you write this command, the how to access the called exceptions that I will show you. Just I will share that Word file. Second.
Sir,
Yes.
power system સંભળાય છે sir.
એ તો બંને સંભળાશે. So just a second.
तो 1.9 जो है के हिसाब से आप 40% निकालोगे, ठीक है? So you will get 76, ठीक है? तो अभी देखो कि हमने वॉश कंडीशन कंसीडर किया, वॉश
तो आपको मैं फुल स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूँ, फिर जाके
अभी देखो
आपको
एक्सटर्नल फोल्ड कंडीशन में आपका जो 0.8 जो है ना वॉश कंडीशन है, ठीक है? अगर मैं थोड़ा
ओके.
इसे कम करूं
तो अभी आपको पाइथन एरर्स एंड बिल्ट एक्सेप्शंस की बात जो हम कर रहे हैं वो आपको आई थिंक आर यू गोइंग टू सी दैट स्क्रीन?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these two types of basically we are talking about this called syntax error and one is called logical errors, and this logical error is called exceptions. Okay, this syntax error. So if you are talking about syntax error, suppose we are writing something over here. Okay, so it will show the syntax error because that here this file comma line 1. So this is something wrong that we are going to give as an input. Okay, so it is called syntax error.
now this 2.1.
So it shows the error like that is called syntax error. Then example will shows column will missing the if statement, something is missing in invalid syntax, it will show that is the invalid syntax over here. So that is called Python logical errors. Second, we are talking about the logical errors. Okay, so it may be of file not found, divided by 0 error, it is called import error. Okay, so that how to check that error and what is the meaning of that error. Suppose here we have it's called 1 divided by 0. Suppose here same I think I am going to see 1 by 0. So you can see 1 by 0 it's called trackball, most recent called last file py cell and module 0 division error. So this is called 0 division error, then colon, and this is called divided by 0. Okay, this is called your exceptions. Okay, this is type of error divided by 0 error. Okay, so it's called divided by 0 error. Same way, suppose if I am going to open this file, if it is not present at all in my system, if I open this file, this is called file not found, no such file or directory name, this is called imaginary.txt. Okay, so same error is going to be printed over here. So this is called numbers of error we are getting as output. And what is the meaning of every error? Because till now what we have seen is how to write a program. Now what we are going to see how to exactly if a error is there, what is the meaning of that error and how to solve that error. Okay, so where error it is and how to solve that particular error. Okay, so now we'll see all of our built-in call these exceptions. We are list that exceptions by this command. Just will print that. So you can see that one file we have generated. You can see that every error, arithmetic error, assertion error, attribution error, base exceptions, blocking errors, all these errors there is a there. Okay, so that error we are going to see one by one. Okay, so what is the meaning of that error, how that error is connected, how the error is to be solved, or how that error is going to be present, and what may be your problem in that particular program that will be there. Okay, so you can see that is a list of different errors are there. You can see, so this is called exception and cause of error. Okay, so this is called assertion error. Assert statement fails. Okay, so some assert, we know that assertion statement is there. Some errors are may not be related with your, we can say, your syllabus, because some higher level errors or higher level problems are there may not be associated with your we can say your syllabus, but certain error are that are related to that. Okay. So every error, if you see that assertion error, attribution error, end of file error, condition error, when we are talking about input. Okay, so that we know that input, when you're talking input to the file or input to the file or output to the file or read or write the file particular, you're opening the file, then if end of file of that particular data is not valid, then it will show end of file error. Okay, floating point error, generator exists. So when generator's close method is called, import error. Okay, just I will just read out these errors. We'll see some errors from there. Every error is not necessary to explain over here, because every error is related to some topic of your Python, but that topic may not be in your particular syllabus, or this is out of syllabus, or we are going to for advanced Python. Okay. So this is called import error, index error, key error, keyboard interrupt, memory error, name error, not implemented error, OSE error, OS error, overflow error, reference error, runtime error, stop iteration error, syntax error, that we know that, indentation error, that we also know, tab error, system error, system exist. Okay, type error, unbound local error, Unicode error. Okay, so we can see value error divided by zero error. Okay, so these are the major errors that we are going to come across while we are running the program. Okay, so here also in Tony we are going to see stop iteration error, syntax warning, system on exist, system. This error you can see from here to there. Okay, they are the errors. After that also you are going to some error, or we can say the number name of particular our name defined name in the Python. So they are the name defined set, locals, list. So this is name defined jeep. They are the defined name into the our local, or we can say our Python. So these are the names up to. Yes, these are names. Okay, these are underscore names that also going to be defined. So this names we are not going to use in our just a second. Okay, so these are the called name which are defined in the our Python, and we are not going to use that this define function, so it may be shows that name error. Okay, so name error also included in this error, and it will check that the name you have what you have defined, it should not be the system predefined names. Okay, so this every error, or this is called sometime you are getting single error, sometime in the program you are getting the multiple errors. Okay, so if you are talking about single exceptions and multiple exceptions, also you are going to get through the this particular program output. Okay, so by error you can understand that what exactly problem through the program. Okay, so some is called assertion error. First we are talking about, so if you are somewhere you are using the assert statement, whatever. So this assert statement where we are going to assert something. Okay, so that assertion error will be shown that is wrong use of that assertion statement, was the failure of that particular assertion statement. Then it's called attribute error. So attributes means that something you are going to define, or some attributes you are going to define for particular function. It is not the valid, then it is called, that is called that particular attribute assignment error is going to be shown there. Okay, then end of file error, that what I will explain you is we are going to take input from some particular file and the end of file is not defined proper, then it's called end of file error. Floating point error, suppose we are going to operate something which are on floating point. Floating point means in points, and that error will rise when that operation is not going to be performed on floating points. So it is called floating point error. So every error, if I are going to, just a second, I will show you the screen.
इसमें क्या होता है कि परसेंटेज डिफरेंशियल प्रोटेक्शन में वो इसमें पिकअप सेटिंग जैसा नहीं होता, लेकिन इसमें बायस सेट करना होता है। ये बायस क्या होता है कि जो ऑपरेटिंग टर्म्स और रिपेयरिंग टर्म्स जो जो मतलब आपको दिखाऊंगा कि वो जो बायस जो होता है वो उससे सेट होता है, मतलब जैसे पिकअप में हम जो पिकअप सेट करते हैं, क्या होता है टर्म्स सेट करने होते हैं ऑपरेटिंग और रिपेयरिंग पॉइंट के टर्म्स, ठीक है। तो हमने 40% सेट करा, तो इसका मतलब लेना है आपको सिटी सेकेंडरी का। सिटी सेकेंडरी में जो करंट आता है उसका एवरेज निकालेंगे, या उससे ज़्यादा करंट जब फ्लो होगा ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट में तब ये रिले ऑपरेट होता है, ठीक है। अभी ये केस कंसीडर करो, आप इसमें देख रहे हो कि पी जो है दैट इज 0.2, ठीक है। अभी पिकअप जो है 0.2 है, देखो ये आप देख रहे हो इसमें 6.2, ठीक है, ये है हमारा 0.2। तो ये 0.2 जो है ये किस करंट पर है, ये 0.2 है वो किस करंट पर है, तो 150 एम्पियर पर। अगर 150 एम्पियर का करंट है लोड करंट, तो हमारा ये 0.2 एम्पियर से ज़्यादा करंट फ्लो होगा तो ये ऑपरेट होगा। लेकिन अभी अपना करंट क्या आ रहा है, 0.05 आ रहा है, ठीक है। अभी आप देख लो फाइल लेस देन 0.2, ठीक है, तो अपना रिले ऑपरेट नहीं होगा, दे डू नॉट ऑपरेट। तो नेक्स्ट कंडीशन जो है अगर क्या होता है कि आप
Okay, no issue. Basically, what I'm going to explain you that the they call the particular exceptions when it was caused. So example of particular every that exceptions which are going to find that some site I have found that, but I right now I'm not able to find that particular site where every exception is explained.
एवरेज जो होता है उतना, ठीक है। तो 0.6 तो दैट इज स्टिल लेस देन 0.76, तो हियर अगेन रिले डू नॉट ऑपरेट, रिले डू नॉट ऑपरेट। इफ आई कंसीडर इंटरनल फॉल्ट कंडीशन, ठीक है, तो इन ड्यूरिंग इंटरनल फॉल्ट कंडीशन इज व्हाट योर सेटिंग दैट इज 0.3।
Okay, so that I will share with you if I found that particular list of that particular example, or just a second.
पिकअप सेटिंग जो होता है ये जिस तरह से ऑपरेट होता है दैट चेंजेस विद द फोल्ड करंट के साथ वो चेंज होता है। तो इससे बेनिफिट क्या होता है कि रिले रिमेन स्टेबल ड्यूरिंग नॉर्मल कंडीशन।
Just a second, I think we have found that. Okay, I will share the screen with you.
So this is what we need to remember. Percentage differential protection का जो importance जो है वो हमेशा आपको याद रखना है. ठीक है.
Okay.
इसमें
Okay, so this is called Geeks for Geeks. On that, I have found the particular built-in exceptions. So you can see, you can find out the built-in exceptions by this particular command. What we have just used in the Thonic. Okay. So what we are going to check is that which types of exceptions are there. So you can see that exceptions are there. This one arithmetic error exceptions are there. It is called overflow, zero division, and floating point error. So this is called arithmetic error. While operating some arithmetic operation, while you are doing with some arithmetics or division by zero floating error. So this is going to be when it will show that it is called arithmetic error. Okay. So this is called buffer error. This is exception raised when buffer related operations cannot be performed. Okay, so just now we have seen the buffer, use of buffer in reading and writing the file. So some buffer is not going to be, we can say, operate, or we are not going to write something into buffer, or buffer is corrupted, something like that, then we will show the buffer error. That is called lookup error. Lookup error means called key and index error. So what is called key and index? As we know in the dictionary, there is called key is there, and according to there is an index of particular key is there. Okay, so if there is a some mapping is not proper of that key and index, then that it will show the key and index error. Okay, so why it is everywhere it is written that try, accept, and else? That already we know that why what is try, accept, and else. Basically, you can see this problem over here. This is called try. First, it will try that a is equal to 1, 2, 3, and here you can see you are going to print a3. Okay, so here you can say 0, 1, and 2. Only 3 index is there. 0, 1, and 2. Okay, the third index is not there, so it will show that it's called index error because there is no index present over here. So if you run this code, you can see it will show you the index out of bound error. Okay, so you can see there is an error over here. બેન મારે ક્લાસ ચાલે છે હું પછી વાત કરું. So you can see that is a index bound error because it basically it is called lookup error. Okay, so there is a lookup error, it is called key error and index error. So basically this is called lookup error. So here there is a problem of lookup is there. That's why this error is going to be printed. Suppose I am not going to write anything over here and just only I will. Suppose instead of that, just I will only try this code, only this one, and just I will run this code. Simple code. Okay, so you can see index error and list index out of range. Okay, so basically it is called index error. Okay, so this index error is the sub part of lookup error, right? So the measure, or we can say main heading of that particular is lookup error, but inside that lookup error that is called index error. So the list of that are you able to see this list? Are you able to see this list, or you are going to see only that Geeks to Geeks site only?
Table, sir.
Table, yes, you are going to see that table, green color table.
Yes, sir. Green color, green background.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that you can see there is a exceptions list is there. The main exception you can see it is because system exists. There is no sub part of system exists. It without any subheadings of that, it will just shows this error, keyboard interrupt error, generate exist error. So these are the major exceptions are is there that doesn't have any sub part. Okay. So now we are going to see this is called exceptions. Okay, so this is the base exceptions. Now we are moved toward the exceptions. In particular exceptions, these many exceptions are there. Okay, and these are the in exceptions. These are the warnings. Okay, so these exceptions consist of iteration problem, asynchronous iteration problem, arithmetic error. Now this arithmetic error consists of these three exceptions. It is called floating point error, overflow error, and zero division error. Okay. So why it is called main heading is main part is there, and why it is called sub part is there of that particular exception? Because when we are going to use the try and accept particular while we are going to make a program, we know that what is a try and accept. So we will try some program. If generates error, we are putting into accept. So just now we have seen in this problem, you can see this is called try. First we are going to try with division by 0, and we are going to print it. So it will try this thing. If this consists an error and the error is this type, if the error is of this type, then it will print this particular statement, else print success. Okay, so this try, accept, and else already we have seen in the previous sessions. So what is meanings of try, accept, and else? So it will try this particular portion, accept will do generates error. If it generates error, so we can use accept multiple ways. So without any error, if I use the accept, means for any types of error, it will print this statement. Else means if there is no error is that, it will print the success. Okay. So this is called try, accept, and else statement. Okay, so this we are going to use. So the error it is called over here, you can see this is called arithmetic error. This arithmetic error consists of this three particular error. So out of three, if any one of the error is the program will generate any of this error, then it will consider into the arithmetic error. Okay, so here if I use the arithmetic error as subhead, so any of these three errors, if it is generated out of these errors, then just a second. Okay, so here we are going to see that here the major error is called arithmetical error. If in arithmetical error there is a three type of error, it is called end of okay. So this was arithmetic error, floating point error, and overflow error, and zero division error. So this out of these three, if any of the error is there, it should be considered into the arithmetic error. Same accession error, attribute error, buffer error, end of file error, import error. Okay. In import error, there is the module no found error. So this module no found error, it is a subpart of import error. Lookup error. So this is two type of error. You can see over here. Just we have execute that program. It is called index error. So index error is considered. So over here there was a previously it is written as a which error? It is called lookup error. Okay. So except lookup error like that if the problem is written over there. Okay. So you can see there is called lookup error, that is called memory error, this is called name error. In the name error, there is called unbound local error, OS error. In OS error, you can see there is a multiple errors are there. Block IO errors, child process error, connection error, there is a block pipe error, connection abort, connection refused, connection reset, file exists, file not found, all comes into OS error. Interrupt error, there is IS directory error, not a directory, permission error, process lookup error, timeout error. So this comes into the OS error. Then it's called reference error, runtime error. In runtime there is a recursive error and not implemented error. Okay. Syntax error, this is called indentation error and tab error. Okay. These two types of error is considered in the syntax error. System error, tab error, value error. In value error, this is called Unicode error. Unicode decode, encode, and translate. These three types of error are considered into the Unicode error, and Unicode error is considered into the value error. So there is a warnings are also there. So these types of warnings are there. Okay, depreciation warning, pending depreciation, then runtime warning, syntax warning, user warning, future warning, import warning, Unicode, byte, and resource warning. So these are called warnings. It is not error, but it shows the warning where maybe you have used the wrong syntax but the syntax may generate, we may create the issue, so there is if there is a may term is there, then it comes into warning. If it create the error, if you know that this syntax is not valid at all, so it is called it will generate the syntax error. Why it should warning? Suppose you have used the same name somewhere which is by default exist in the system, and you run the program, this may not create the problem right now because the name what you have used and function of that particular name same time you are not going to use there. So if you are not using the same thing at the same time, so it will shows only the warning, not a error. Okay, so for that we are going to see that it is called warnings, right? So it shows the warning. Now these are the list you can see. So every error here we are going to, it is explained over here. So you can see exception error, this is called assertion error. So it's called assert false, assertion fail. Okay, so this is an example. So if it is a true, then this will be generated. But here we have what this called false, and this exception dot error dot py assertion error, the assertion failed. So this is assert error is that the assertion failed. Attributes error if you are going to see here, object is called attributes. We are not going to be we have create a class. The name is class is called object. This class is called attributes, and we have passed some object, and we have just only passed that particular class. So here you are calling object and attributes and print object dot attributes, because there is nothing, there is no attributes like attribute inside this attributes class. It will shows the error. Okay, so this way we can check that is the attribution error is there or not. So this is not useful you because we have not seen the classes over here. Okay, so we have not considered this class for your sake. If time permits, we'll also going to see that classes also, what this class is. Somewhere it may be useful for your advanced programming. So this is called exception end of file error. You can see here, you can see this, we are taking the row inputs from the particular name, and we have just printed hello and nothing that, and we are going to see that print data. So you can see that that Aditi we have given as an input, and this data file that we have taken over here, this file basically not present, means the data is not present over here. It will show that end of file error when reading that particular line. Okay, then it's called, we are importing the math. Okay, so we are going to print the exception exponential of that particular 1000. Okay, so this is called floating point error. So we are not going to perform that particular math operation on exponential of thousands. Okay, so these are the error. Generator exist error. So this is called my generator. Some function is there. There is a, we are using try and accept, and you are just so what is the basically error is, it is exception directly inherent from the base exception instead of exception. Since it is technically not a error, a generator exit exception is raised when generator or continuous is closed. Okay, so you can see that over here there is a call, we have named that one function is called my generator. And what do you mean by this yield? So some basically if I'm going to say some error are not in the or scope. Okay, if it is not in your scope, just I will show that example, but it may not be useful to you. Just see that example, this types of errors did exist. Sometimes you are not going to understand that particular problems over here. This is called yield, that just we have not seen that yield, why it is going to be useful. Okay, so it may not be useful for you, but you just see that there may be, it's called type of error, it is called generator exist error. That is called exception import error. So we are importing some module that doesn't exist. So there is a error of particular that exception module that we have not found, index error that we have seen, that index error over here. key error. So you can see that the CK is not present over here. It may be useful to you because that we have seen in this dictionary type, because we are calling the C type of key, but there is not exist. Okay, so this is called key interrupt error. So it is not you're not going to see that if you are going to print something. It is called control C press return or control C ignored row input. So we are getting as a row input, except exception error print called exception error. So here we are not going to we are going to see that we need to enter the control C while taking an input, and if you are not going to print that control C, then it shows the particular error. Exception memory error. So this number you can see there is a call we have seen that is called, we are going to factorial, we are going to find that particular factor of this number, so it will shows the memory error, because the memory here requirement of memory is more, so it's not going to be operate that particular program for that much of number. Okay, so it will shows that memory error. Exception name error. So here you can see that is a print answer. So answer over here it is not defined, so it is called name error. That we have seen many types of this error. Okay, not implemented error. So I'll share this link with you. You can go through every means called aspect of this particular error. Okay, so there is a lots of error, and the explanation is still there, and I'm not going to see that every error and what is the meanings of every error of that, because error handling already we have seen in previous sessions how we are going to handle the errors, because in previous session we have seen that if some error exists, how to use then try and accept particular try and accept for particular problem, means particular error, and how to means how to keep user aside from particular error. So user can give any types of input. For any types of input, we need to take care of that input. If there is a node that particular program shows the error, instead of program shows the error, we'll just print a output that your input is not proper, like that. Okay, that we have done in the last previous sessions, so I'm not going to repeat that thing. Okay, so this is all about is called extra means exceptions. One thing is still present, it is called customized exceptions. You can create your custom exceptions over there. So if there is a particular error is there, you can create that your custom errors. But for that custom errors, we need to understand this is called class, and the classes, it is not a part of your syllabus. Okay, so if some error is there, and if you are going to means call, you are going to implement that particular error for your particular problem only, then it should be, we need to create the classes. Okay, so this class is not your part of your syllabus, so we are going to not you're not going to understand what is the how we are going to operate that particular errors for our problem. Okay, so if time permits, we'll consider the classes, and after consideration of classes, we are going to use the customization of our called this called exceptions. Okay, so our next target is to use the means next target is to solve these problems based on file operations. Okay, so till that we have completed the all theory part of this called file read write problem, then CSV file, binary files, handling of particular exceptions. Okay, so these types of things we have already done. Now the next lecture we are going to take exercise on that, problems on that, so we can understand better how to handle the files and how to use that exceptions, file exceptions. Okay, so these things we are going to see in the next session. Okay, this is called example. One thing I want to tell you that the part of called modules or external packages, the experiment of that is still pending. So by today I'm going to share with you that particular experiment, and also I'm going to share you that whole folders that I have used while this explanation. So I will share with you this particular means word files that I am going to explain. Okay. So that's all for today's session, and we are going to see the examples in the next session. If you any have doubt, then you can raise your doubt right now, so we can clear this doubt. So do you have any doubts regarding this session? Hello?
No,
Any
sir.
doubt?
No,
No
sir.
doubt. Okay, so try, I can say, try in your way that what I have shown you. Without practice, the programming is difficult for you. Okay. So that's all for today. Goodbye to all. Have a nice day.